German archaeologist Klaus Schmidt visited the site and began digging. Discovering the first T-shaped pillar buried at the site, he soon found more of these massive structures.
Today, we'll be talking about the Göbekli Tepe, but before we get into some theories and some spicy stuff, we want to give you a little bit of a background information. Göbekli Tepe is an archaeological site located in southeastern Turkey that has transformed our understanding of early human history, which is of course very important. Göbekli Tepe dates back to the 10th to 8th millennium BCE, making it approximately 11,000 to 13,000 years old. This place is well before the advent of writing and the wheel, so it is pretty old, and this is why it is so important for our history, as it teaches us so much that we otherwise would not know.
Very difficult to know what the purpose of something like Göbekli Tepe could be.
Furthermore, the site is one of the oldest known examples of monumental architecture, predating Stonehenge by about 6,000 years, and the pyramids of Egypt by 7,000 years. It has to be said that the Göbekli Tepe is something that is super crucial to learning what life was like all of those years ago. Now that you know a little bit of a basic background information, we want to tell you what we will be talking about in today's video. To start with, we'll talk about the significance of the Göbekli Tepe and why it is so key for us. Then, we will get on to the importance of Pillar 43, and then we'll end the video by looking at a lot of theories. Let's get into the action.
Of each enclosure, you have two particularly big T-shaped pillars of limestone, sort of facing each other.
The Göbekli Tepe is important because it lets us understand what early human life was like. But what does this mean exactly? It gives us a little look into what architectural life was like back then, with how they carved stone and used it to build things. History is such an important aspect of life as a whole, as it is who we are at the end of the day, and this is why the Göbekli Tepe has a huge bit of significance, as it is key for history. It gives us a great insight into the craftsmanship that was used back in the day, with the carvings of animals, symbols, and many more. The religious and spiritual meaning behind the Göbekli Tepe also gives us a good look into the past, as the site is widely believed to have been used for religious or ceremonial purposes. This indicates that spiritual or ceremonial practices were central to early human communities, and this is another reason into why this place is so significant, even though it at first may not seem like it. Without the Göbekli Tepe, we simply would not have all this information from 11,000 years ago. That is a very long time ago. So, this is so good to have, and why it is seen as a place of history. It has to be said that the Göbekli Tepe is a massively important place and is so key to life as it is today due to the fact we have learned from what these people did all those years ago. What are your thoughts on the Göbekli Tepe? Does it hold a lot of significance for you? Or do you not really care about it at all? Drop a comment below and do let us know what you think. Now that you all know a little more about the Göbekli Tepe, we want to go into the importance of Pillar 43. But first, we want to tell you what exactly this is. Pillar 43, also known as the Vulture Stone, is one of the most famous and intriguing pillars at Göbekli Tepe. But why is it so intriguing, you may ask? The pillar has very detailed carvings on it, and it gets its name from the vulture stone, as it has several images of vultures throughout alongside other animals too. There are also other symbols on the pillar, such as one relating to the sun and moon, and it shows how good the people thousands of years ago were at their craft. Now, what is the importance of Pillar 43? Some researchers propose that the carvings on Pillar 43 may represent astronomical constellations or events. For example, the vulture might be associated with the constellation Cygnus, and the circular symbol could represent the sun or a supernova. This is interesting as it could show how the people were ahead of their time and were very smart too with their science. Or could it be that something else helped them create these symbols and vultures? Others interpret the carvings as symbolic representations of death, the afterlife, or shamanistic practices. Vultures are often associated with death and the soul's journey into various ancient cultures. So it is interesting, as there could be two meanings to what is put on the pillar, depending on how you interpret it. Pillar 43 provides valuable insights into the symbolic and religious beliefs of the people who built Göbekli Tepe. And this is something we talked about earlier on in the video, and how important it is for the religion and history of this place, and the pillar again gives us another insight on that history that is so key. Researchers continue to study Pillar 43 to better understand its meanings and implications. Advanced imaging techniques and comparative studies with other ancient sites are used to unravel its mysteries, and while there are many theories about the carving's meanings, there are yet to be any true answers to what they actually are all about. The pillar, until this very day, has a lot of mystique around it, which makes it so interesting not only because of its history, but that it is a talking point for several theories, which we'll be jumping on to next. We now want to get into juicy stuff, and that is some theories that surround the Göbekli Tepe. One theory is that the place was used for spiritual and ritual reasons, and this is because of the carvings that were found in the stones, but also due to the fact that the architecture is so detailed and it looks like a possible former place of worship, and it could very well be the case. Another theory is that the Göbekli Tepe was used back in the day as a gathering place for people from many different societies and tribes. Some people think that the Tepe was a place that people would travel to due to it being so ahead of its time, making it as famous as it is now, but also how popular the place would have been back in the day. Another theory that proposes the Göbekli Tepe functioned as an astronomical observatory, and that certain alignments of the pillars that we talked about earlier on and carvings have led some researchers to suggest that the site was used to track celestial events, such as the solstices or the movements of stars and planets. This explains to us what the pillar was all about and what importance it has due to it having some relation to space, and this links us on to our next theory. Of course, when space ever comes into question, is aliens, and whilst the theory of aliens being involved here is very far-fetched, it has to be talked about. Some theorists claim that due to the markings on the Pillar 43, there is some link to aliens, as people all those thousands of years ago may not have been as smart to know all about space. Therefore, theorists think that aliens came down and not only helped the people build the Göbekli Tepe, but also helped them with space and told them about astrology. There is no evidence to back it, but it is a theory, to say the least. The next theory we'll be talking about is that the construction of such a monumental site might indicate the presence of a hierarchical social structure. Göbekli Tepe could have been built to demonstrate the power and authority of a ruling class or elite group, serving as a symbol of their control and influence over the region. This shows how the higher power has always been there throughout time, even more than 10,000 years ago, and many people think that even to this very day, it has stayed the same with a higher power. A final theory is that the Göbekli Tepe is a place that gives us a short insight into what art was like and was used to display what people back then could do, and now we can interpret how we want to. Overall, it has to be said that Göbekli Tepe's mysteries continue to captivate researchers, and these additional theories highlight the site's potential multifaceted significance. As ongoing excavations and interdisciplinary studies progress, our understanding of Göbekli Tepe and its role in early human history will likely become more nuanced and comprehensive. The site stands as a testament to the complexity and ingenuity of early human societies, offering a glimpse into the distant past and the origins of civilization, and it gives us a good look into the past. What do you think about the Göbekli Tepe? Is everything that we are told by history true? Or is there something that we have not been told that could be true? Drop a comment below and do let us know what you think. We'd love to hear from you all out. Thank you all so much for watching this video, and make sure that you subscribe for more videos just like this one, and you do not want to miss out on our upcoming videos.